Hi guys. So I have literally just finished the present authoring faults and virtues on the self-authoring suit. I made a video about past authoring and it was really well received, so I decided to do another one, and it took me a really long time to finish it because I don't know, I don't want to do it in just one sitting. I think that it is more productive if you do it sort of one step at a time, and I will just shortly go through what it was like for me and what I think about it. So for those of you who don't know, the self-authoring suit was developed by, I think, Jordan Peterson and his colleagues, and it is set to improve your life and understanding of yourself and your future success and something like that. So they tested especially the future authoring that I'm actually really looking forward to on Dutch students, I think, and it drastically improved their success in university. And after that, past authoring is more about like analyzing your past experiences, and the present authoring consists of two parts, faults and virtues. And I actually started with virtues because I don't know, I thought that it would be too depressive to start with faults, but actually it is created in a way that it doesn't allow you to get too cocky about your virtues and doesn't let you just sit there and be like, oh my god, I'm such a piece of shit, I don't know what to do with my life, about your faults. It is based on the big 5 personality traits theory, which I don't know actually who developed. Sorry, I'm just looking at my phone because I don't remember them all by heart. So the personality consists of 5 traits: openness, neuroticism, agreeableness, extraversion, and conscientiousness. And depending on where you are on the scale from like open to new experiences to like really close to all new experiences and being like extremely rigid in your seeing of the world. So yeah, openness is about that. It's about openness to new ideas, being more like philosophically inclined, enjoying more deep conversations. Yeah, then there is extraversion, that I think is the most obvious one, so like either you're introverted or extroverted. Then there is agreeableness, and this is the desire to be nice to everyone and like liked, and when you're ready to sort of sacrifice your own needs in order to benefit other people, and thinking about other people first and then only about yourself. And then there is neuroticism. I think it's if you are prone to negative thoughts and depression and maybe obsessions, and just if you are simply a more positive or negative person. And then there is conscientiousness, and this is sort of your ability to stick to the plans, and if you're responsible or not, if you are good with following through with your goals, and if you're good at following a certain plan, or if you're more prone to procrastination and you're not really that organized and not really that tidy. Each part of it, both faults and virtues, present you with certain statements. Like, for example, let's start with virtues. So it would give you a list of different virtues that are characteristic for different traits like openness, neuroticism, conscientiousness, and all that. So for example, there would be statements like, I make friends really easily, or I always know how to take the conversation to a higher level, or I am always open to new ideas, or something like that. And the thing is that it's not like one of those tests where you have to answer some seemingly random questions and then they tell you something about yourself. It's more about you analyzing yourself, so it's how you see yourself and not how other people see you. And you pick the statements that you think are more characteristic for you or of you, and then I think you have to pick like 5 to 10 from each list, and then they present you with everything that you picked, and you have to pick from 6 to 9 or 10 most important ones. So it's like a sieve, you have to pick more and more important things as you go further. And then with these 6 to 9 or 10 statements that you've picked for yourself, they're the most important ones, and you pick them as the ones that characterize you. You're offered to write a short story, like 1,000 words, about how this virtue helped you in life one time. Or maybe for me this was kind of really hard, because for example, when there is a statement like I always know how to take the conversation to a higher level, I don't know what kind of a story you can put there. So I just chose a kind of a little bit different approach. I would just write down everything that would come to my mind about that. And sometimes it would be like 5 really short stories or statements about my life, or just general my thoughts about why I think I have this trait and so on. Then after you wrote this story, there is the next window, and you can write down things that you could do different in order for this situation to be even better. So if you are writing about your virtues, you are of course expected to write a story that will kind of show why this virtue is important and how it helped you in life. And then you can elaborate on how you can make the situation even better, how you could make the situation even better. And I think it's really cool, because it's not like, oh, I have this virtue and now I'm just so awesome and I don't have to do anything. It's kind of encouraging you to work even more on that. And then the next window, so for each statement you sort of have 3 windows: a story, what you could have done differently in order for it to have a better outcome, and then the last one is how you can capitalize on that virtue in general. So just in general, what you can do yourself, or how you can change yourself in order to improve even more. And I think it's a really nice approach, because as I said, it doesn't allow you to get too cocky, because there is always a place to grow. You can never outsmart yourself or outgrow yourself, and I think that it just gives you time and space to just reflect on yourself. Probably if you're watching this video, you're already into self-analyzing and trying to become a better person or a better human being. And it sort of gives you a guideline on how to think about it, because I didn't think about it in this terms maybe, or in exactly this manner, but I definitely already knew that these were sort of my strong sides, although there were some that I wouldn't think about, or maybe there were not some that I would think about as like my virtues. But yeah, it really allows you to, without being cocky, think about what is good about you and what you can do in your life in order to become even better. And then with faults, it's exactly the same thing. So you are also presented with several lists of different qualities that you think that you have. You have to click on 5 to 10 of them on each page, and then you're also presented with the entire list that you chose, and you have to pick 5 to 10 out of them. And there are also things that are not necessarily even that bad. For example, one of those that I picked was, it's hard for me to take sides because I can always see both sides of the argument. And this is actually true, I've struggled with it my entire life. I don't know, I don't really think that it's such a bad thing. Sometimes you have to be really like strong, and you have to just stand by something and defend your position. Well, okay, it's not about that. And you can also see that the kind of negative sides and the positive sides that you chose correspond to each other. And this reminds me a lot of Aristotle, who said that all virtues are something in the middle, and then when you go on a scale to really high extent of something, and or to a really low extent of something, then it becomes sort of a fault. So for example, if you are really generous and you just throw money all around, then it's just stupid. Or if you don't really ever spend money and you're really greedy, this is not also very good. But when you spend money where it's necessary and as much as it's necessary, then it's a virtue, and everything else like that. So he believed that everything is about balance, and I also believe that. So it just lets you kind of assess where you have an imbalance, and usually they are connected. So if you are very high in openness, then you will be like very philosophically inclined and deep and like thinking about life and all that, but you will also be not able to pick a side in a conversation because you will see many possibilities and you will be open to many different ideas. So I hope that it makes sense so far what I'm saying. So yeah, and it sort of offers you to pick 5 to 10 most important things that you think you could work on. And what I really like is that they don't really sound like such bad things, in my opinion, and it's just something that you could work on in order to become even better, and it doesn't leave you with a feeling that like, oh, I'm such a piece of shit, I don't know what to do with my life and it's just pointless, I will rather like crawl into a hole somewhere and die. It just allows you to realize that you can work on something still and become even better, and it also offers you to write a story about each fault that you picked and how it affected you negatively in a way. For me, it was also kind of hard to pick just one story because I don't think that it's always characteristic. So I would write maybe 3 or 4, but really short episodes of my life. And then in the next window, it offers you to think about what you could have done differently in order for that not to happen, or in order for things to result in a better outcome. And then in the next window, it offers you to think about the more general, like what you could do in life in general, or how you can work on yourself in order to become better at that, in order to become a better person, and in order for just your life to be less affected by this fault that you have. And in the end, for both parts, it gives you a summary of everything that you wrote, and you can ask them to send it to you by email, and then you can just read about it. And I think it's really cool because then you can go back. I think that you can do it every couple of years just to see your progress, and you can go back and look at the things that you wrote and see if you made any progress or not, and maybe you will know something else. And also what I found really cool is that it allows you to understand that, at least in my case it was like this, that a lot of your faults, say, or virtues come from the same place. So for example, I've noticed that a lot of the things that I wrote were kind of results or symptoms of a thing that I already knew I have to work on, but it is just such an obvious example of what you have to do and what can be improved, or what you are already doing pretty great but could do even better. So yeah, I think it's a pretty cool tool for the people who want to dig deeper into their personality and who want to become better people. And I just think that if you are into self-analyzing and if you want to just spend some time figuring yourself out, I think it's a pretty nice way to do that. So yeah, definitely also would recommend. And now I'm super excited to start the future authoring thing because I'm really excited about it and I can't wait. So I will definitely share that with you as well when I finish, although I don't think that the results are obvious right away, but maybe they are. I already was thinking about it, like how I see myself in 3 or 5 years, because for me it's really hard to just imagine something because I know how unpredictable life is. And I already realized some things about my life, and that there are things that I didn't even know that I wanted, but I actually really do want them. So yeah, but more about that later. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you tried the self-authoring program and if you liked it, or if you feel inspired to try it after I told you about it. So yeah, let me know about that. Love you very much, and be nice humans, and goodbye.